Excellent. Last weekend, as many of you know, we had an opportunity to travel to Nassau, Bahamas to check out Bahamas Methodist Habitat, who we're going to be serving with there, and to explore some of the sites that we may be working at. And in conversation with many people, they've been teasing me that, oh yeah, you're going on the mission trip to the Bahamas. That'll be tough. So all I have to say about that is this. So, enough said. Because, yes, while we were in the island of the Bahamas and the water was really beautiful and the beaches were amazing, we quickly discovered that beyond the tourist areas where all the ships are and everything else, there is a tremendous amount of poverty that people don't get to see. And probably the worst of it was at a place that we visited called the All Saints Camp. It was stunningly devastating. And it's ironically called All Saints Camp. But, you know, while we did discover saints there, we also discovered that this is both a literal and virtual dumping ground. People come and they dump off their trash all over the grounds of this camp, and they also dump off people that have terminal illnesses, specifically people suffering from AIDS. About 70% of the residents there's about 40 residents, are suffering from AIDS. And the theology of the islands is such that if you have AIDS, then you're a sinful person and God is smiting you for that. So these people get dumped, shunned, and abandoned and forgotten. In addition to the trash that you find, there's stray dogs all over the place. We happen to see pictures of this dog from last year from some of the mission groups that went, and it was perfectly fine. Only this year we found the same dog, and it has tumors, bleeding tumors, all over its body, which is just serving to spread even more disease. It kept wanting to rub up against people. We had to keep pushing it away. Unfortunately, that dog is not long for this world, which is really sad. Dan, who went with us, even made a comment that the conditions were so bad he wouldn't want his dog to live there, and that's case in point. The road leading into the camp is virtually undrivable, and while this is one of the newly constructed cabins off... Oh, I went too far. I'm missing the picture. So anyway, there's a road there that should be there in the picture. It's completely broken up. It's undrivable. We had to park down at the bottom and walk our way into the camp. There's some new cabins being started, but the walkways even to those are just inadequate. They started the cabins 2 years ago, and they still aren't completed. That was the picture I was talking about. That's the roadway going in. In addition to that, there's sidewalks along the way that connect all the cabins to one another, and as you can see, that sidewalk is extremely narrow. Many of the residents have wheelchairs, and that pathway is barely adequate for them to get around to different places because there's drop-offs on either side of those cabins. Also, if you look at the wiring, it's just draped on these makeshift poles, and a bunch of the wiring is bare, and a lot of it was at just below head height, so you had to duck under these wires to get into places. The plumbing, in addition, is just run across the top of the ground and pressure fitted in. It's not even properly sealed into places. And the dog that I showed earlier was drinking from the puddles from one of the spigots and that type of thing. We have serious concern that the sewage is just leaching into their drinking water, continuing to spread even more disease. The terrain that you see looks mostly like that. There's barely anything living except for some trees at this site. It's mostly just a bunch of rocks. And the view that they have, if I could find it again. There you go. The only view that they have from the camp is of a huge graveyard. So very little alive, and the only view that they have is of a graveyard. So hope is pretty minimal there. Everything showing them what they're leading towards. As I said, there are some saints there at the camp, and among them, their children live with them too, like this beautiful little girl who is wandering around the camp, and we had a chance to visit with her and her mom for a little bit. Probably one of the best buildings on the whole camp is their chapel, which is here. And there's a Seventh-day Adventist group that comes and shares worship with them twice a week, which is twice as often as they have medical care show up. There's no residential care for any of these people. Someone shows up maybe once a week to provide medical care for people as they can. But despite the conditions that they are living in, we found some like Miss Moxie here, whose hands are lifted to God in praise, and she greets every single person with a hug and a smile and an incredible joy. Her kids left her there, so she doesn't have much contact with them, but she has pictures all over her room of the mission groups that have come and shared time with her and visited with her, and that's the size. That's it. That's all she has to live in, pretty much what you see there. The other joy that, in addition to what we got from Miss Moxie, is the fact that we got to visit St. Michael's Methodist Church. This is the church that is going to be hosting us while we are there, and they have an incredible mission heart, and they care so much for their community, and they're looking forward to partnering with us to try and make a difference at All Saints Camp and other areas. We got to be there on the Sunday. They made over 70 food bags to take out into their community to give to people who have need. And these are all the bags that they blessed that morning to send out into the community. These are the folks from St. Michael's. On the far left is Wellington, or Welly. Just next to him is Abraham McIntyre, who's in charge of Bahamas Methodist Habitat. There's Ricardo next to him on the right, next to Evelyn. And he's basically jack of all trades. He's making sure that we're completely taken care of. And on the far right is Reverend Stubbs, who's the pastor there at the church. It was an incredible joy to meet all of them and to know that we're going to be partnering in ministry with them to make a difference while we're there. One thing that we do ask, this mission that we're going to be doing is no joke. We went there knowing it was going to be the Bahamas and discovered a third world beyond all the tourist areas. We want to go down. We want to share God's love. We want to make a difference. As many of you know, we've got fundraising projects going on. We're still collecting sales for Cookie Lee, and we've got a big yard sale coming up next Saturday with yard sale, pit beef, silent auction. Anything that you could do to support us, even if it's in prayer. Prayer is a huge thing. We need lots of that. But anything that you could do to support the team so we can go down and make a difference for Jesus Christ in that community, please do. Miss Moxie deserves it. She's an amazing lady, and so are all the people there at All Saints Camp. So anything you could do to help, please do. See me or any of the other mission team, and we can answer questions or share things with you that you can do to support us. But thank you.